believe. And yes, that's on the right. Everything's good. Everything is good. And we're going. Excellent. Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix and welcome to FTB Skies. Now, the description talks about building the factory, and this is the factory that I need to replace. As Mumbo Jumbo would normally start his video, he'd probably say something along the lines of, I love his intros. I wish I could do intros like that, where you just, basically the video just begins and it's a black screen and some text on the screen that basically says what it is. And I do admire that sort of start, I have to say. My starts are very old-fashioned, I guess. But, you know, his video would sort of start with, you know, there is a problem with my factory or something along those lines. And I did kind of consider doing something similar. But this is my current factory, and it's good. But it's using an awful lot of old technology from the start of the game. But I can't use the newer stuff because I don't have the space, which is a problem. So this bit needs to be replaced. There is another problem in that it's not very automatic. You know, the way that I kind of clear everything at the moment is I go along and I see what's in the chests. You know, stuff like the quartz dust. Well, the quartz dust needs to go into an enricher and get changed into another quartz. In theory, it then needs to be passed over. Some of it needs to be passed over and sent off to various reprocessing to make it into useful things. The same with like the sugarcane and the occasion and the sea pickles. Sea pickles need to go through crushers to get turned into biofuel to run my biofuel stuff. Not that I technically need to use biofuel because I have that. This is a fission reactor, and this is part of the reason why I need to overhaul the factory, because in order to run a fission reactor, what you need is you need fissile fuel, which in turn needs, you know, so the water's fine, but it needs the fissile fuel. And this is the worst part of the mechanism. This is what you need to make the fissile fuel, and it is complete nonsense. You need sulfur, you need fluorite, you need uranium. I need all of those things to be entering into the system, and I just don't have it. I don't have enough of it. This was an early attempt to get the fissile fuel up. Wasn't going to work because fissile fuel is a gas, not a liquid. And so fissile fuel, and so the way that I wanted to do it is that I would load up a huge tank. I'd lift it up here using an automatic system. It's not this, and you know it would go in and it would go into here. That's not going to work. Because it's a gas, not a fluid. It won't work for steam either, because again, it's a gas, not a fluid. So the only thing that I can haul up is water, and I've got a sink back there, so that's no point. So all of this is going to change at some point, maybe. Or I'll probably just leave it, to be fair. So I wanted to do something like that somewhere. And then I had some inspiration in a way that is going to make my life more complicated than it probably needs to be. So, before I do that, I need to just check on my tree farm. I think I've still got 2 trees that needs to... I automated the tree farm a bit more. I added some deployers so that it auto plants. I also need to add a return system, but I'm not doing that yet. Actually, I don't think this was actually in the... yeah, so I've rigged all of this up properly. It's on a big windmill similar to... I think it was Pearlescent Moon's windmill from Next Life or One Life, or I think it's One Life. I think it's the One Life series. Basically, it's this really... Her windmill is this really long windmill. that's in a tower, but it's too long to kind of fit in the tower, so it kind of sticks out the sides. I really like that idea, so I kind of I stole that idea for this. Obviously, the back's not being completed. The least said about that, the better. But the result is that it does run the tree farm and the crane that moves from one side to the other. And then a whole bunch of just various systems run the factory. That is going to change for this one. At the moment it's being run off a single windmill. I want to have like almost look like engines. So I'll put like a shroud around here, and it'll be like a really long windmill coming up all the sides, like how I did that one. And then I've stuck that through a rotation speed controller to adapt it out into what I need it to do. And then this is a rather messy way of doing the. Although it doesn't look too bad, especially once I fill it out with some wood blocks or some andesite casings or something. I think that would look all right. Especially as I can rotate these ones. I can't rotate that one, but I can rotate that one and fill that out with andesite casings. I don't think that would look too bad. But yes, so this is the start of the factory. This takes cobble that comes from up there, and so taking that idea of having a lowable lift, basically, I have this. This is an item vault. I'm going to raise it up so I don't lose too much cobble. That is going to be loaded in a slightly different way, using stickers. I'm not entirely sure exactly how I'm going to do this bit yet. I'll probably have something to like pull this out of the way. Might be able to like use a mechanical piston to pull it out of the way. But the benefit of doing it like this is that I can have multiple cars, so that when that one is down, this one can be moved. So I can place this in here, and this is being loaded up from, I lost count, I think that's 12, I think it's 12 Ignis extruders. And I can then move this around. There's rather a lot of belts and I've not hooked everything up. So I can move the item vault around. So I can move the item vault into the drop position and then hook it to the rope pulley and drop it down. And that will, I don't actually know how much sorry, there was a creeper explosion here and it took out some of the concrete. I don't know how much the item vaults actually hold. Quite a lot, turns out. So yeah, I'm a big fan of these. So anyway, the next job is to so there's going to be a gravel filter. I don't think I get anything from waterlogged gravel. Have a look. Let's have a look. So gravel crushing. Yes, that's how I get gravel. What do I make out of gravel? So bulk washing. I don't want to do any of that. So sift. Here we go. Okay, it's just sifting. So one of these lines, probably like, I'll just probably just start here. So one of these lines is just going to go down by a bit. I need to get some gold. You might wonder why I'm using gold. I have so much of it. There's so many gold blocks. It's just better. It's just easier to use gold blocks for my blocking out. So we're going to go down here by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go down by 7, and then I do this on the side so that I can easily fill that up. go out here. And then I get halfway, and then I realise that I've not actually brought any useful blocks with me, and I have to go back up to grab some concrete, which I really should automate the production of. Can I dye concrete? Because it would be so much easier if I could just make like white concrete and then dye it. Apparently not. Oh, I can use a painting machine. Huh. That wouldn't be a bad way of going. How to make pigments? Oh god. Red pigment, yes, but how do I add? Oh, I use an extractor. Can I just extract straight from dye? No. No, I can't. Oh, I can extract from orange tulips. Oh no, I can extract straight from dye. That might not be the worst way to go, actually. Oh god, that was because I've got hover mode on. Yep. Still not entirely used to this jetpack. That is going to be something to sort out at some point, because I can then just build a machine that's going to make concrete and then dye it as I need it. But for the moment, what I need is some gravel, and some grey dye, and some sand. That's not much of it. It'll be enough. It'll be enough. Oh god. This is also a lot faster now because I moved it up here and moved it up into this system. And I've started taking down some of the stuff down there because it's quite messy, and I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. I'm toying around with the idea of turning that into the animal farm. Right. Okay, where's my things going? Yeah, it's going here. Apologies for the fast movement. This jetpack is weird. I'm not used to using a jetpack that moves me so quickly. Normally, they'd be a little bit more sedate, but not this time. Alright, so this is going to be dropping down onto a belt, and these two are going to be those other two are going to be dropping down into crushing wheels to make sand, and they will then drop down even further to the next level. So this level will, so gravel, this gets sifted into, actually that will probably go that way actually. So this will get sifted into resources, and then into the gravel resources, and then there'll be some crushing wheels that will turn it into sand and then drop it down. And then the next one will drop it into, crush this side into dust, and then drop that down. So each level deals with a different type of stuff. I need to get some stone and use this to grab some crushing wheels. Stone. That's me not being able to type. And some planks. If you've not seen this move before, this is kind of cool. So this is a crafting system, an auto crafting system, but there are some things in Create that you can only auto craft using this system. One of these being the crushing wheels. Oh, I also worked out what was going on with the pedestals thing. I was putting the the thing on the top when it needed to, like, you need to put it the add-on into your offhand and then shift right click onto it. It's very weird. I even made the book. There's a book you can make for pedestals for the guide, and it's not good. It's really not good. I know it says work in progress, but if you make a mod, it's a really good idea to make sure that your mod has documentation for it. This channel, when I started it, was tutorials for Source Engine, and sort of a way to just kind of put some of the stuff that I've been working on out there. And when I stopped doing stuff with Hammer Editor, I was kind of thinking about what tutorials to do, and one of the tutorials that I ended up doing was the Planet Coaster ones, which still apparently do really well, which to me is a bit, I guess, well, it's sort of along the lines of, you know, if the tutorials aren't there in game, then people are going to go try to find it elsewhere. So, you know, it's a really good idea to make sure that any game, and I understand how difficult it is to make a tutorial for a game, but with Minecraft, at least you've got the books, and you can create good tutorials in those books. They're sort of interactive books. Like the Britannia one is actually really good. Okay, I've got 6. That's not going to be enough, but I'm running a little bit low on resources. Another thing that I found out, you can bounce on the beds. That's not a very good example. Yeah, you bounce on the beds. I just need to make some more of these. Yeah, the Britannia one is good. There's been a few books that have been, you know, you open up, you read them, and there's some good information in them. Obviously nothing as good as like the Thorncraft one, which was very much an interactive guide. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, so I did work out how that works. So I do now have an infinite supply of dirt, which is good. So I can start making this a little bit nicer. And maybe even put something like out here or something. I want this to be a hole, but I also want to like define the edges a bit of it. So maybe like steps with like railings up or something. I don't know. Haven't quite got there yet. Alright. Next one down. Make sure hover mode is on. And so, do I have any blocks? I do. These are very much temporary blocks, so that I can put these in. Excellent. So those are going to turn and create sand. And then I need some more gold, just so I can go down a bit. So I'm running low on wood. There's more gold. The thing that's slightly worrying me is actually no, I do have a solution for that. It's an interesting solution. So refined storage is one of the best storage mods out there. You know, applied energistics was, but applied energistics also kind of got a little bit Greg Tech, I guess. It got more. It made itself an awful lot more complicated than it needed to be, in my opinion. And so my go-to storage mod these days is refined storage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the top. Let's drop this down by 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. because I didn't actually bring, again, any useful blocks with me, like concrete. It's fine. All this gold is going to go. It's ugly, and I know it's ugly. It's like the pink paint from that you can get for when you're doing your walls. I treat it like that. What did I do there? Oh no, that's not right. You do not want it like that. That will probably do. That'll probably do too well, actually, because I want it to just literally go through, don't I? Actually. Okay. Okay. Well, that will just be fine for the minute. I need to get more resources. Sort it out. So I use refined storage. So my plan is, this is big and complicated, and it may not actually come to fruition, but it sort of leads back to this whole this inspiration that I had when I was watching an Impulse video. Now, Impulse has in his lower corner, lower left-hand corner, this was it was Impulse. He has on his streams, he has this graphic, this animation for when he gets bits or something, and this cauldron, which does explain why I've got a cauldron just lying in the middle of the room here. There is a reason for this. I was looking at this cauldron earlier. He has this cauldron that comes in from the side, and it pours like molten metal into a sort of into a jar, and then the jar opens, and I think it's meant to be like a heart sort of mold, and then this sort of heart comes out. And I was looking at it and thinking, I could probably do something like that with Create, you know. And as I said, this is going to be horrible, and it may not work, and you know, it really is going to be a case of don't. I'm not getting my hopes up about it at all working, but in theory, what I could do is get so it would be loaded from the back, full of, you know, useful resources. I'll go into the back, and something more grey dye. So it would be loaded from the back, and then it would move. This contraption would move to a site, and then it would turn over like a crucible does to pour, in quotations, the stuff out. And I could probably just either use, well, actually what I would probably use is just like a chute type thing. So the whole thing would turn, and then the material would go out, the sorted material would then go out into the wild. In theory, I could also use an item vault inside, but I was kind of thinking about maybe just using barrels. Because barrels would probably also do the trick. Again, I don't know if that's going to work, but it did give me the inspiration to just kind of properly overhaul the factory. So I've got a single location where all this material is going to be going into and stored. And because these are ignitic extruders, I'm not messing around with. They don't need power. All they need is water and lava. So So that's basically that. This needs to be into here. yeah, so after this will come then sort of the sieving. So there'll be 3 sieving floors to do gravel, sand and dust. And then the material will come out of there, and it will then need to be sorted into different item vaults. From there, from there it gets interesting, because actually no, does it? No, so some of the stuff will go into a barrel, basically, and then I can use a storage monitor. I can't remember what it's called in refined storage. External storage. That's it. External storage. So the system will basically look at all the external storage, and they'll see anything that's in a barrel. But actually there'll be a whole load more stuff in item vaults, because item vaults are huge, and that will just be very, very useful to do it that way. However, from the item vault, from the initial item vault, it will then go into, it will then run through a mechanism system. That will be the next thing to construct, because all my ore needs to go through go into a mechanism. That was lava. It needs to go into the full quintuple. Is it quintuple? Septuple? No, septuple, quintuple. Sounds right. I think it's quintuple. Basically, it needs to go through the entire processing system, so I'm getting the maximum amount of yield from my resources. So yeah, there is a plan. It's rare for me to really have a plan, but no, I have a rough plan for this build. It's going to be huge and complicated, and I think had I been if I was a little bit more of an organised person, I would certainly be looking at maybe doing like sort of replay mod style, those things, time lapses. Time lapses is what I'm thinking of. They look so cool. I'm still unsure as to actually how replay mod works. I need to play around with it. I need to grab it and play around with it. Simply because you look at some of the things that people do with that thing. It's stunning. So yes, we'll see. Anyway, so that's this. So I just fixed that floor while I'm waiting for my next little bit of stuff to come through. So that will go. So yes, yeah. So that's so I was on the gravel floor. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so many just bits and pieces in these factories that need to be. There's so much to do on this factory. I just want to automate this, and then I can work on automating other stuff that's kind of annoying me, like food. I don't have an automated system on food yet, so I'm just sort of eating whatever's available. Alright, so this needs to go down a bit. And this is going to be dealt with in a little bit of a different way. So it's going to come out to about, I usually like to use 3, so 1, 2, 3, so 5. I don't know, it looks nice, in my opinion. So gravel comes out onto here, and then we're going to split it. Yeah, we are going to split it. 1, 2, 3. Of course, need one more. So yeah, so it comes to here. We're going to split it into 3, like so, and we'll use brass tunnels to split the gravel that's coming out of here, going onto the belt. It's being split into 3, and then it's going through the sieves. Right, so let's finish this up. There you go. Right, we've got a platform now. So yeah, so that's going to be all sieves, and then it will go on to be sorted. So I now need to go to the gravel bit. So, oh god, you get more than. That's fine. I can filter that off. I can. Yeah, that's fine. It's just an extra little filter that I'll need to do. But so the sieve recipe, we're going to be using the amethyst. So I'm going to be getting quite a bit out of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, it's a 4x4, so it's 16. Yeah. However, things like the geode, unsure about what to do with actually thinking about it. Yeah, there's going to be some things, obviously, that I'll, coal, for example, will need to be split because that's a useful construction thing. But it's also needs to go into an enrichment chamber to be put into compressed form. So things like that will need to be split. Things like the fluorite will need to be split as well, because some of it I need it in crystal form and some of it I need in dust form. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things that I need to be able to do with some of these things. Diamonds, again, I need to be a useful crafting material, sure, but it also needs to be compressed. So again, that needs to be split off, and that will need its own sort of area for processing. So each of these items is going to, each of these 16 items, so that's 8 galleries. If I do it in gallery form, so each one will have a different gallery coming off each side. That should be fine, because that will clear the. Yeah, that'll be alright. Especially if I push it out by a few more. So some of what I'm doing is basically just what I call grey boxing. So it's just basically experimenting a little bit. I know what my end goal is, and I know that my sort of theme, I guess, for the area. That needs some belts. I'll get some belts in a minute. So that is going to be. So we have 3. Oh, we have 3 coming off. That's not going to work for galleries, is it? Is it? Yes, it will. It will, but it's a little complicated. 1, 2. Especially if I don't get this built correctly. It will look wrong, and we don't want it to look wrong. So the first gallery would be here, either side. That will work. Yes, that does work. I go out here. Just build that into here a bit. And that is because I want to do something here, so it's looking a bit weird. Yeah, so that will then go into a processing gallery for diamonds, of which there's 2 things that I need it to do, and then that will go into an item. Part of it will go into an item vault. Part of it will go into processing and then into an item vault. So I'm going to need a lot of item vaults, but item vaults are good because they store a huge amount of stuff and they look good while doing it. Having a nice big, I like having a nice big multi-block storage device. So, next up I need, what do I actually need? Apart from more concrete belts, that was it. And now we go down to the bottom. One more. No, I really need to learn how to use a jetpack again. Jetpacks, I'm just used to much more sluggish jetpacks, I guess. Fucking sec. There we go. Alright. And then, yeah, that's the one I want. So that will go over that way. Right, actually, do I have enough stuff for a brass tunnel? If not, I think I can make the stuff that I need for the brass tunnels. Yes. These are the brass tunnels. So brass tunnels can be used to so brass tunnels are used for 2 sort of things, really. The first is to balance your things. So we do it like that, and then when gravel enters this one, it's going to then export it onto all 3 belts. If I put it here, it's going to have 3 exits, basically. And what we can do there is we can have a filter on here that basically says, yes, if I grab a diamond, that would be a good idea to actually have a diamond on me. What am I missing here? Be nice to get some more of this. I think I've got some quartz actually. Yes. I like the mechanism has some support with create. Right. Not all though. There's some support I would quite like to see at some point, such as the ability for create to move gases. That is sort of a request of mine. I think that would be quite useful to be able to use fissile, being able to transport something like fissile material via train. That could be kind of cool, rather than having to put it into gas tanks and then put them into an inventory. Which is something that I did consider. A system by which the fissile material would go into a gas tank. When the gas tank was full, a drill would then break the gas tank. The gas tank would then go onto a conveyor belt and into some sort of storage device, and then deploy would place a new one down, and the cycle would continue. And then on the other end, the place would place down the full tank, and then it would empty into the system. And I did consider doing something like that. It would have been dreadful. And just not quite as cool as just being able to put the gas into a tank and then haul the tank up. So anyway, that's that's all that. Do I have any more? I do. I'll have some sand in here. Let's make some more of this. Right. There. Okay, so while that's cooking, what did we need to do? Oh yes, brass tunnels. Diamond. Get a diamond because I need one. Just one. One will do. Head down to gallery 1. I should have picked up an emerald as well because I'm going to need them. So stuff comes out here. And moves on. Right. Moves on to the next belt after that. I don't know if I want to, because what I could do is I could have it go into chests in here. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Let's go and see how my stuff is doing. That's done. So emerald is the next one. Emeralds are actually quite nice and easy because there's nothing that I need to do with them apart from craft. Trade. They'll be sort of trading. So maybe what I want to do is have the item vault set up, which I could do there. I've got 3 of them. Do I have any barrels? Oh yes, yes I do. I made a lot of them. Do I have any iron plates? Yes I do. What I could do then is actually build the trading hall down there. So all the villagers will end up in little rooms, in little blocks. Just hold on. Let's do this. Right. So emeralds are going to be coming out here. 1, 2, 3. Let's just make it symmetrical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that comes out there, and then it needs to just go into an item vault. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In theory, I could also build a system that allows me to just haul up item vaults as I need, as I see fit. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that because that's going to be an awful lot more work for the moment. So I'm not doing that. Not at the moment, anyway. Maybe in the future. This is designed to be. This I do want to be a reasonably scalable factory. So, you know, things like that I could, in theory, do in the future. Sort of move these item vaults around, like literally by just physically picking them up and moving them, because create is a fantastic mod and will just let you do that sort of thing. Right, so we now have this. I've still got my hover mode on for this last little bit, where I want to put a little platform out the front. build this little section here, and then a barrel will go here, and then the rest of this will be like a trading outpost of some description. Maybe we'd like get some grass down, some bees, some sheep, nice little village, something along those lines. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe even a route up to the farm up here as well, through some sort of back alley type things. Right, that's the emeralds done and the diamonds prepared. Getting some sieves up here wouldn't be the worst of ideas either. It's called the sifter. Sifter. This thing. That's not hugely useful, but I can get one in at least. I can also get some more. I've got some kelp. I've got some alloy. Have a load of that. Probably should leave hover mode on for a bit. Right, so God's sake. No. Down. Right. Thank you. So funnel. Okay. Funnel. That will need a mesh on the top. We're not quite there yet. Andesite case drive, whatever. That needs to be a cogwheel there. So these sifters will drive one another. So I only need one. I've got a big cog in the middle, so we can just go straight across. The interesting thing is that if you waterlog one of these, it doesn't like spread out. So I can just waterlog. I would probably just waterlog the middle one or something of the sand. And actually, I know, is it? Yeah, it's sand, but does dust? Actually, is it? Right. Sand. I cannot spell. So yeah, sand has waterlogged. Does dust. We'll also just really make sure that I can. Yes, I can mill into dust. Dust does not have a waterlogged recipe. But obviously it's going to be creating a lot of very useful things and apatite. Not quite sure what I do with the apatite yet. Okay, so am I out? I am out of course I am. I was just gonna do this. Fill this out a bit as well, because I need somewhere to walk over. Without me falling down a hole. Right, well, that's that sort of... I like that. Yeah, that should look quite good. And then it'll all sort of branch off. And yeah, I probably will put some barrels in here. Maybe I may not. I may just do it belt to belt. I can also dye the belts as well, which I think I would like make this like into a green belt, whatever. The dye stuff does look quite good, and yeah. So that will should be good. So, I would quite like to, before I turn this all on, I would like to finish some of the bits of it. So, that's, oh god. So that's gravel to sand. This is going to require brain power, I suspect. Do I have any bones? I think I do. Yes, I do. Now, can I mill the bones? I think I can. Aha, yes. That's the other way of getting grey dye. No, I can't. Oh, I've turned that power off anyway, so that's not going to work. That's fine. Oh, wait, I needed the bones for something else. Damn it. Oh, well. Right. Never mind. Oh, for goodness sake. Downside of refined storage. When you right click, when you've got dye in your hand, it dyes the crafting grid. Yes, that's the thing. Right, grey concrete. I don't want to press that button yet. No, that's fine. Right, yes, so it's floor 2 to work on now. Right. So, is it 2 blocks up? Or 3? 1, 2, it's 3 blocks up. So we go to here. 3. Crushing wheel. Wait. No. It's not crushing wheel. Crushing wheel is here. And here. We only need to crush the sand. The dust, which I don't have that. You just go back to the top because I need some more alloy. That's on the bed. Which I don't have. Do I have any alloy in stock? No. Right. I need to make some andesite then, because it should have enough zinc, but it doesn't have the andesite. So, I am using the diorite cobble recipe to make andesite. There are other recipes in the game. You can sift dirt, and that will create andesite chunks. So that's an early way of getting it. But if you've got quartz, you may as well just do it the easy way, which is just make it with make the diorite and then make the diorite with 2 quartz and 2 cobble. Combine the diorite with the cobble, and you get andesite. Then it goes into the mixer. This is a much better recipe to do it this way around. Gets the alloy. And then sawing it, again, better recipe to saw it because you get, so to make a shaft without the saw is, it's 2 alloy to get 8 shafts. but if you saw the alloy, you get 6 shafts per 1 alloy. So you're getting 12 for 2, technically in that respect. So that is definitely a better way to go. So I'm just using the mechanical systems as much as possible. And drop down. And can I drop down the next? I don't think so. Oh, I could drop down that side. Right, so this now needs a chute to go down to the next floor. So cobble goes into sand is going into here, and then it's coming out here. Meanwhile, oh wait, I can filter it out at the next. Oh wait, can I? It's going to go into the. Well, it probably just been minced up. Can't remember how exactly the crushing wheels work, but I think if anything enters it, which it can't have an output, I think it's destroyed. Because if I was to put flint in, that can't do anything. It's a bit of a waste of resources, but as long as it's not getting confused, getting the system confused, I'm not entirely sure what happens, It's fine. We'll find out, I'm sure. I think those are all loot bees down there. There's a lot of bees. I probably should do something about that. Okay. So, once again, 1, 2, 3, and then there. Just, and then we bring it out by that. And then 1, 2, 3, and there. Destroy this belt, because this belt is going to go all the way over to this one. And that is going to be split. No. Use the cobble concrete, please. Right. So that needs a belt. So that will take the sand and then convert that to put it on all the belts. However, I can use the brass tunnel at this point. Oh, I've only got grey concrete powder. I can use this at this point. I don't want to use andesite because it's quite limited still. So I can pull off the belt, the flint and the clay. And the clay, I'm thinking about compacting that actually, and just making a whole bunch of terracotta out of it. That might not be a bad idea, because terracotta is quite useful. I mean, I could also split it, so some of it gets turned into brick, some of it gets turned into terracotta. Yeah, I mean, that should be fine. I'll be getting loads of clay out of the system anyway, so actually, does that come out sand? So if it does, I can then sort of reroute that into the system. Yes, it does. Okay, that could be an answer. So, because I need to make those sifters. Just smelt that up. Oh, I've got a load of stone already. So I need to make. So I need to make 2 more, and so it's 5, 7. I need to make 7. Yes. What do we need? Planks. I've got those. And rock cobble. I just need the stone. And belts would also be useful. Those up. Another good thing about doing this, you know, it's a big build. It's a huge build, but big benefit of doing it is it uses some of these resources that I've got sitting in my system. I need to get the resources out because there's some stuff that's like gold. You know, what am I going to use gold for? Diamonds as well. Weirdly, diamonds have always been a bit of an interesting thing for me. Cause, at the start of any modded playthrough, like back in the Tekkit days, right? Your first 3 diamonds were always made into a pickaxe, into a diamond pickaxe, and that pickaxe was then used as a crafting recipe for a turtle, and that's what people would then use to then clear out Y12 diamond layer. They just, you know, send turtles off at Y12 and get their resources that way. But in pretty much every modded playthrough, I think diamonds don't become very useful. They're a thing you need to get some things made, but as soon as those things are made, you never need to use them again. And they sort of become not actually that useful in the end. Right, okay. Loads of concrete power, grey concrete now, so I can finish off some of these sections. Actually, what I should do is just, yeah, that. To try my hardest to actually place these. Alright, so that's basically done. In fact, because of the layout of this, I should, in theory, be able to drop a shaft down here. Actually, do I want to do it? I could drop a shaft down there and just run all this, but I will need to know. There's actually no point because of the way that I build these things. The belt needs to run, and so I will use that in case chain drive to run the next belt, basically. So there's absolutely no point in doing that other system. Why change now? You know, the existing system works. I need to just get some cobble in my inventory. That was terrifying. Right, so sifters. 5 sifters. Why do I have 5? Hold on. I've miscounted, haven't I? I needed 8 sifters. Why did I need 8? I did need 8 sifters because I need 9 sifters total, and I'd already built one and placed one, and that was just yeah, maths, not my strong point. Right, right. So this goes out a little bit further. 1, 2, 3, and a bit more. Oh yes, and that will then be processing. Okay, so that will be, yeah, so that's processing for this setup. Is it? So 1, 2, 3. So we would then start pulling off here and the other side. Turn that on. Just finish this. That will come out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. Yeah, and I'll probably just stick it into an item vault for now. I don't have any item vaults on me. But yeah, so that would be... Just to grab a belt so that I can work this out mentally. So that would be clay, and then there'll be a second one over here for... flint. And then that'll be off to an item vault over that way as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something like that, along those lines. Where are we at? I'm a bit on there now. I was going to finish this floor and I'll probably end the stream for now. Next week, we'll probably be continuing on the bits and pieces that I may have a new challenge to solve. Maybe a little bit of automation. Who knows? This I do enjoy a good skyblock because you just got everything before you. So most of this is now basically working. So the stone... Actually, let's try this, shall we? I've got so much stone, it's not a problem if I just ditch a load of it to the vault, to the void. This will be sped up once I've got a little bit more stress units to play with, but right now, this is all we got. I'll do that. So it goes up, it gets crushed, and then it should. Oh yeah, because this bit doesn't actually work yet. None of this is on. Yeah, we've got gravel coming through. So yeah, that's working. Good. Well, I'm going to continue working on this for a little bit more, but not on camera. There's quite a bit to do, and quite a bit of it is just going to be filling in my floors and doing a few little bits and pieces here and there. I mean, next week I may actually start, maybe do like some work on the trading hall, because I won't have done anything on that by next week. I've got some ideas of what I want the trading hall to look like. I did something. I'm thinking something kind of similar to what I did in Vault Hunters, with this sort of like, it was like a treasure vault basically, with hanging like an overgrown treasure vault basically. That might work quite well for something that's meant to be like a trading hall type of thing. But anyway, I'm going to end this stream here. So thank you very much for watching. The VOD will be up. So if it's something that you just wanted to watch later on, so that's fine. The VOD will be up for as long as YouTube keeps it up, which I think is forever. I don't know. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.